Okay, Sajid, you want to come to the speaker panel? Welcome, Sajid.
Hi Sudhir, hi Dara.
Hello.
Okay, so let's get started. So I'll just give an intro. From there, we'll get started. Right. So whoever has joined, thank you for joining. So basically, Canada IT Club is a IT professional group based out of Canada. We have been doing these kinds of sessions, podcastings, and meetups for past three and a half, 4 years. And this is basically to build your professional network in Canada and to share the information. So in most of these session, I invite some industry experts, and it's a open Q&A forum where everybody can speak up, everybody can ask questions, and we try to keep it generally within 1 hour. And we have like the recruiters. I mean, I invite usually the recruiters or the tax consultants or the technical experts, and we try to discuss whatever is happening in the industry just to keep up ourselves updated. So today's session is mainly for job seekers, and we had a prequel last week. I believe I had invited Dara, and that session was really wonderful. But unfortunately, my recording that session recording didn't work. And actually what happened is there was a huge demand for people to invite Dara and Sajid back in the session. That is one of the reasons why I thought, okay, let me invite you both back in the session, and we will actually have a meaningful discussion for people who are in Canada and is trying to work out for a looking for a job or a career change in the industry. So thank you, Sajid and Dara, for accepting my invite and coming to the panel once more and helping everyone by sharing all the information.
Of course.
So yeah, so just a couple of disclaimers. Whatever we are sharing, this is purely informational session. We are not representing our clients, customers, or employers. So this is just purely informational session. Second disclaimer is that please do not disclose any confidential information in the call. This is for all the speakers, or sorry, all the audience. In case you want to come to the speaker panel, do not disclose any personal or confidential information such as your salary, which company you are planning to jump to. Don't disclose those kinds of things. So these are the couple of disclaimers. In case you have something confidential to discuss, you can reach out to us offline, outside of this call, because this is a public forum and the call is getting recorded. So yes, this will be available in YouTube. So let us try avoiding any confidential discussion or confidential information sharing in this broad and public group. So in that way we will get started. As usual, I have the privilege of asking the first question to both of you. But before I ask for the first question, Dara and Sajid, in case you want to just give a quick intro, that would be great. Dara.
Sure. So, good evening, everyone. My name is Dhara Majmundar, and I'm doing recruiting since more than 12 years now. I'm mainly specializing in IT recruiting. Um, yeah, and well, I'm also working as a part-time professor at the Humber College for teaching career development. And I also run my own career coaching services just to help as many newcomers, job seekers as possible. That's about it.
Thank you, Dara. Sajid.
Same TA specialist in Canada. Currently not hiring for roles in Canada, but mostly US. One disclaimer: what Sudhir mentioned, no immigration visa questions in this particular forum. This is purely Q&A for recruiters. So you're going to ask recruiters your job search issues, right? No questions related to visa or immigration, please. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll ask the first question. Just a high level So those who are in the audience, in case you want to come to the speaker panel, just raise your hand. I'll promote you as a speaker. You can ask the questions to Sajit and Dara, and we will get started from there. uh, but Dara, how do you see the market right now? What has been happening in the past 5 months since 2024?
Um,
I know it's a
Market,
very vague question, but yes,
yeah.
I know you will handle it.
It is a volatile. Market is volatile, but I do see jobs coming in Canadian market as well. As Sajid says, most of our jobs are currently in US, but I see some rise in Canadian market as well. For me, the noteworthy worthy thing is that most of the employers are asking candidates to come to the office and on site, and even if sometimes newcomers or immigrants really want job, but then they are reluctant to go all 5 days on site. So I think this is something that I'm observing these days.
Sure, thank you. So we'll get started with Divya. Divya.
Hi, Sudhir. Thank you for organizing this. And thank you, Dhara and Sajid, for being with us here. My question is basically, I am transitioning my career from HR to Salesforce, and I've done a couple of certifications as well. I am joining Workforce back after a career gap of around like 10 years. So I wanted to know, like, if I apply for some internship opportunities, basically it is for recently grads, right? The recent grads people. So are there any return to workforce programs also available in Canada? Do you know of any companies who have those programs which I can apply for?
Dara, all the questions are to you.
Yeah, so that's very interesting, Divya, and I appreciate that you are thinking in that direction. 100%, I would highly suggest that start with uh, some career transition or upskilling courses like, and if you will find a lot of such courses through Access Employment and many other government agencies. Apart from that, I would also suggest that start doing some freelancing. So if you know how to use Salesforce, take up some freelance courses or freelance projects that will help you build up your portfolio. At the same time, you can do some volunteer work with nonprofit organization and help them some way by using Salesforce. And I think that's the way you will gain practical experiences, and that will open up the doors for you for the full-time employment.
Thank you, Dara. Maybe I'll add a couple of points to it. So Sajid can add it. Sajid, basically, she's asking whether any programs are available for return from break. So do you want to add it?
Just that, see, the challenge that you'll have is to showcase your skill than your certification, right? So, like Dara mentioned, is very true. What all volunteer work you can get. Now, let's say you are connected with a senior Salesforce architect or a person in that domain, and you ask him that you connect with him and ask him for projects that he's working on. If you can help him out, so that you could put that in your resume, that would add more value than the certification. Look at non-for-profit organizations; they are much more open to women returning back after a gap. They are more worried about what you can contribute. If you can highlight your transferable skills, that would be a best break for you.
Thank you, Sajid. I just wanted to add a couple of more points. One thing is having a career break is not a big deal in Canada. Only problem is the skill gap, which in case you have stopped working back in 2018 and then you are searching the job in 2024. So there is a 6 years career gap. In there, the tools might have changed, the technologies might have changed. If you have not upgraded your skill to what is required in the market, that is one of the most challenging thing which I have seen for people from who is coming back from the career break. But it's not a big issue. A lot of people have been getting jobs who had the career break, who has been trained well. Second thing is basically the confidence. So as Sajit and Dara mentioned, in case you start working for some volunteer organization or non-profit organization, even for very less pay or no pay, your confidence will increase actually, because that is one of the most important things which I've seen for the people who is coming back from the career break, is that lack of confidence. So they lack the confidence to crack the interview. So you will gain these confidence when you try to work for these kind of volunteer work and non-profit organization. Did we answer
Thank you.
that, Divya?
Yeah. Thank you, Sudhir. Thank you, Dhara and Sajid. Yeah, it was actually great insights from all of you. So yeah, I'll work on it. And I'm surely going on the right path, I think so. That's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No worries. Yeah.
And the way you have to understand that this career gap, what Sudhir mentioned, this is for all in the audience. This is applicable for people who are having jobs too. Now, let's say you're in a job, you have not upskilled in the last 4 5 years. The technology has changed drastically. So earlier, whatever the technologies were changing every 8 years or 4 years. Right now, it's happening every 2 years. Right, new tools are coming up, new there, and the gap is increasing. Let's say you are in a role and when you are not upskilled, this can I've recently put a reshared my post where I'm saying even HR, the kind of technology that people are requesting HR people to have is also increasing. So the tech gap or in any skills gap, this is even if you're in a role, you'll find it very challenging when you're trying to move to a new position. So that is something that everybody has to keep in mind.
Absolutely. Thank
Absolutely.
you,
Thank
Sajid.
you, Sajid. Yeah. Thank you, Sudhir.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's move on to Vinodini.
Yeah, thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. I'll just have two questions. Consider a career like backup and storage that is coming under the gamut of IT infrastructure. What are the in-demand certifications for the same?
Dhara, Dhara, you're on mute if you're speaking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vinodini, I would like to understand your question one more time. So, um,
So consider a career like IT infrastructure, okay, which comes on backup and storage, IT support basically. So what are the in-demand certifications, which is in-demand certification for the year in Canadian market?
I would pass on to Sajid. Not sure.
Okay. Yeah. No worries. Yeah. So Vinodini, so see the certification, again, this is something which me and Sajid usually tell. Certification might not be enough to get a job. If you are trying to for a job search, certification might not be enough to get a job. Certification will help you in your career in long term, but having a certification might not be enough to get the job. Being said, what I would recommend you is you can talk to me offline. I'll connect you with someone from the infrastructure side. They
Hmm.
will actually help you understanding what are the certifications which is currently available or which is most high demand in the industry. Unfortunately, I might not be able to give you the or show you the right path, but I can connect you with a few people who will be able to help
Okay,
you
okay,
understand what is the certifications which is of high demand.
okay, completely sensible. And the
Yeah.
second question that I have is that we all have this immigration as a milestone in our in.
Vinodri, before that, I have a question for you. Is it
Yeah,
Vinodri? I have a question for you. Before that,
yeah.
are you looking to transition to tech, or
No,
is
no,
it
no,
for
no.
someone else?
It's for my husband. I'm not looking to transition to tech. And second question I have is that immigration is a milestone, okay? And having said that, we have just visa status only till December, and that is a handicap in an interview, okay? In interview also, recruiters ask we need at least minimum of 1 year validity, visa validity. So, what is the best answer that we can give? Because anyway, after 2 years, I'll be getting a 3 year work permit, and that is how immigration plans goes. So, what is the best answer can we give during an interview?
So we initially discussed that, or Sajid told a disclaimer that no immigration questions will be answered here. That is one of the reason is because we are not professional immigration agents. Okay, but I'll try
Okay.
to answer this question. So what
Hmm.
happens is, see, there is no gray area here. Whether are you authorized to work or are you not authorized to work? It's very clear. So a lot of the students who is coming here, these immigration agents tell them lie that you are authorized to work, and they start applying for the job. People who are in visit visa, they are actually applying for the job. people who are in closed work permit, they are applying for the job. So what I'm trying to say is, you have to understand whether you are authorized to work or not. Now,
Okay.
coming to your work visa status, you are saying that after 2 years, then you will get a 3-year work permit. Being so, I believe that you are in a student visa. I don't know. Again, let us not discuss that here. But if
Okay.
you are in a student visa, you are in the co permit. The You have to understand from the employer's perspective. Imagine, I have a candidate whose visa is going to get expired in October. So if the employer hires her, trains her for 2 3 months, and her visa doesn't get expired, she has to go back to India, or he has to go back to India. The employer is wasting 3 to 4 months salary
Okay.
on
Got
that
it. Got
candidate.
it.
So that is one of the
Okay.
reasons why employers are only looking for, or more mainly looking for, people who are in the PR or Canadian citizens, so that they
Okay.
can plan a long term
Okay.
for
Okay,
them.
good, good. Very good. And I'm satisfied with this. The thing is, you already discussed about career gaps. Okay, in the career gap, what sensible answer can I give it for an interviewer? Because gap can happen due to personal reasons. Mainly, it can happen due to immigration. So, what is the best answer that I can give for a career gap?
Sure. Dara, you want to take it, or else I can go ahead with it?
Yeah, no, I would like to take it.
Please, yes.
I understand your questions, Vinodini. Career gap, I understand that it's a personal, for personal reasons. Now, how can you say that this was the personal reason? I think the beauty of a corporate world is that there is a way of saying everything, right? So even
Okay.
if no matter how personal matter it is, there is always a way of saying things in a professional manner, right? So I
Okay.
think you should take some guidance from a professional who is senior. Again, maybe he's a career coach, or any one of us, maybe offline, and discuss your situation, and you can reword it and rephrase it to make it look like professional. If you can also do it by your own self, this may look like very simple, but I do it all the time, and that's how I learn it. You can use Chat GPT, and you can write
Okay.
whatever is your personal reason. Um,
Good.
of
Good.
course, keep
Okay.
it kind of vague, right? Not very
Yeah. Yeah.
detailed,
Yeah.
and say write it professionally. Or there are many
Yeah.
websites where you can say how to say certain things professionally. You'll find lots of material and lots of ideas about how to present your scenario in a professional manner, right? So that's
Okay.
my advice. And again, that's totally doable and acceptable.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tara. Thank you so much, Sajid. Thank you, Sudhir. So I just kind of mute myself. Okay.
No
Thank you.
worries.
I.
Thank you, Vinodini.
Yeah.
Let's move to Shika.
Hi everyone. Thank you Sujit and Sudhir for bringing Dhara again. Last time the session was very good, and I'll have the question that I couldn't ask last time because lack of time. So Dhara, we talked about that. Somebody asked at that time about tailoring the resume as per the job description, right? And the suggestion which came from you and Sujit was that whatever you are experienced with should already be on resume. But sometimes what happens is, because I have more than a decade of experience and I have done a lot of things, but sometimes the JD ask and I have done that, but it's not the highlight of my resume per se, so it's not part of my resume currently. So I get tempted into the idea of updating my resume to reflect it, because I have good knowledge, I can back it with data when asked around it. But this is kind of a challenge which I face when I have to apply for multiple positions, because rarely you would find that it's obviously we know the world we live in, so the job description, and although it's the same role, it would be different. And tech stack is something which is good because tech is constant, whatever tools you have worked with, whatever programming languages. But when it comes to roles and responsibilities, that's one challenge I face, and I would like to get some help or guidance from you on this.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you asked this question. So, Shika, again, to me, there is a simple solution.
Mm-hmm.
So, keep one resume, which is your master resume. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If I would even suggest even before applying. what you should do is, for example, what I would do. See, I want to apply as a talent acquisition specialist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't go away. I don't start applying right away, or I don't start modifying my resume with each company or each job I look at it. Right? I do
Mm-hmm.
some homework. So I will have a master resume where I will see 5 or 10 jobs pertaining to my role, and I'll see what new aspect or what new roles and responsibility or what new tools or what is new that they are asking, which is not included in my resume. And if I have done it, but if I have not yet included, then I
Mm-hmm.
start including all of that. Now
And do
my
you also
resume.
update your master resume after updating
So
it here?
that's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
This is about in master resume.
Okay.
Okay, so I
Mm-hmm.
keep on adding tons of things in my master resume.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I have chunk of information and I have rich resume. Now
Mm-hmm.
when I'm applying to one particular job, I will see what applies to this, what doesn't apply to that. Then I just have to modify it. But once you do this exercise, the beauty of it is that you will understand what are the aspects that usually they ask.
Mm-hmm.
And your resume, if it is task based, then it will
Mm-hmm.
be too long. But if
Mm-hmm.
your resume is result based or share the objectives, then you will see that 5 tasks are producing one result. So you can comprise it that way. So
Okay.
I know, I know what you're asking, but it could be done if you do some homework. So you have to continuously keep on understanding that what tasks they are asking for and what result they are asking you to produce. So if you convert your resume into result based, where you show percentage, where you show results, where you show objectives, then your 5 tasks will become one result. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how you keep on compressing. And then you will see that after a while, your resume will be resonating to almost all the jobs, then very less modification. But I think you should do some research and understand what are the requirements.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my way of doing.
Okay. Thank you.
Beauty of
Uh,
what
mhm.
Dara said is, yeah, Shikha, one beauty of what Dara said is that solution is much better where you are deleting. It's easier to delete. You have created master resume and you're deleting stuff is much easier than thinking what to add when you want to apply.
Yeah,
So you have a
yeah,
master resume,
makes
put
sense.
all the skills, let's say 5 to 10 specific role, it's easier to delete and then share it.
Hmm. Yes, it's a very good tip
Got
actually.
it?
Yes, yes, yes. It,
Yeah.
it will be very helpful.
Yeah. Rather than at that moment thinking, okay, now what do I add? Because then you have to put a lot of thought and then do it. Deleting is much more easier.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. It's really helpful. Thank you, Sujit. And I have just a question popped up when Dhara was talking previously. I know one of the answers, but I'm just looking. Dhara, you mentioned about career coaches. So apart from LinkedIn, I know LinkedIn is there, but it's a big ocean, right? So what all other sources or channels do you think we can find? Like I'm looking for a career coach, let's say. So what are the other channels which you recommend, which we can go through?
For sure. So when I was a new grad here, I didn't have money to go to a career coach, right, and take a professional guidance or anything. So what I did was I went to a government employment agency, and they offer free services to. They provide you something called job coach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and job coach is assigned to you. You take their appointment, they sit with you, they show you how to modify your resume, what jobs you should apply, how to prepare for interview. They even give you vouchers, food vouchers. They even give you uh, bus transit passes. So they have lots of resources according to your requirement. They can help and support you. So in my opinion, everybody should have a job coach, and it's all free. No matter what visa status you have, as long as you are in Canada, you can go to any government employment agency. For example, Access Employment, Wood Green Community, JSG, uh, uh, sorry, not JSG, JVS Toronto, COSTI, Skills for Change, There are tons of them. So you register with them and they will guide you, they will assign you a coach. So in you should have one job coach. You should also connect with a few or I would say 10 job developers. So again, all these government employment agencies have job developers. They are basically the ones who connect with recruiters, corporate recruiters like myself, and they offer me the candidates they have in pipeline. So I have been connected with so many job developers previously, and if they suggest me a candidate, I would like to give them the preference rather than somebody who has applied and I don't know them, right? So it's a very good channel to do your networking, to get the coaching, and and um, and 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 it's all for free. So I think everybody should actually take advantage of it.
This is marvelous, actually. Thank you, Dara.
Adding to what Dara mentioned, I volunteer at an organization called TRIAC, TRIEC. That is also a free services. So that is something that you can look at. Apart from what Dara mentioned in terms of job developers, you need to connect with at least three recruitment agencies. In the sense, they should be you should have them on your speed dial, right? Three recruiters not only sharing your resume, but you have spoken to those recruiters who know who Shikha Singh is and who know what your tech stack is and what is your experience. You have spoken to them, right? Not just shared your resume and just a number, but they know who Shikha is. At least three recruitment agencies uh, should be in your speed dial. So that is also going to help you, especially for contract roles.
Yes, yes, Sujit. Yeah, really helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, Shika. So I believe the such as Canada IT Club also will will become like Triac one day, where we'll have these mentoring features, facilities, and all, and we'll be able to bring some meaningful um, discussions regarding these mentors and mentees.
Yeah, we
We'll
are
take it up.
already doing that unofficially in the sense
Yeah.
not as a program, but gradually, yeah, we'll include that.
Oh
Sujit.
yes, yes. Yeah, we are myself and Sajid is doing that unofficially for quite some time. Yeah, it's only the time which is preventing us from discussing all these things. But yeah, anyways, in the meantime, yesterday in our group there was a big discussion which is related to the consulting firms versus the training institutes. I'll get to it, but let's go through a couple of more questions. But I promise that I'll get to it because there was a discussion in our group, and I promise that I'll respond to it in today's podcast. I'll come there. Okay, so let's go to Will Murugan.
Yeah, hi all. First of all, thanks for the opportunity. Myself, Vail Murugan. I have 10 years of experience in IT infrastructure support back in India. In IT infra, I started my career from desktop, data center, like VMware, storage, backup, VMware, like Windows, Exchange, completely I worked. It has been like 1 year in Canada, I'm searching for a job. Ideally, I'm not getting exactly what how they see. Basically, there will be three answers for me. Like initially, people used to tell I'm overqualified for some position. So what I did is I downgrade myself. I showed the minimal in my resume, and then once my resume is shortlisted, I'm facing the issue with the visa status and then the location. So how to answer them regarding the visa status and then location wise. For example, I'm in Kitchener now. If there is an opening in Ottawa, they HR is expecting me to be there in the Ottawa. So how to answer them? I'm not getting exactly how to handle these type of questions. And one more thing is I understand in Canada it is completely reference and networking matters. Back in India, I didn't had a even though 10 years of experience, I had never used any reference. I was able to get the job, but in Canada it is different. So Sudhir, I would request if you can refer me to any IT infra networking team, it will be very helpful for me.
We'll see. But before that, I'll let Dhara and Sajid answer that.
Yeah.
Dhara, you want to take it up? Yep.
Yes. I would like to address that. So I understand your concern, and I think there is a very simple way to do it. So um, what I always suggest that apart from your resume, always attach um, a cover letter, and you can make it like a one document, right? So don't keep it like two different documents, like one PDF. First page is your cover letter, and then your resume starts. The beauty of cover letter is that it gives you the space to provide additional information, something that you cannot explain in your resume, you cannot explain on LinkedIn, right? These are the, and when, especially in your case, um, location issue or visa specification, all these things you add in your cover letter. So if, for example, if you are in Kitchener, you apply for a job in Ottawa, if you send a resume, then they will think that you have no idea where you are applying and what you are doing, but they don't know you are ready to relocate. So that thing you can include in your cover letter, I understand that the job is located here, and I'm willing to relocate at my own cost, right? And it might take me, and give them a good reason. You can always say, I have friends, I have relatives, I have professional connections, or I'm familiar with the location. And if you are not, start making yourself in different locations and start making connections. I understand that connection has to be professional, but to tell you the truth, even if you say that I have friends there so that I can move, as a recruiter, I feel little relief that you will be okay. If you say that I'll move here, then my first question is, do you know anybody there? Would you be able to find your accommodation? Because if you are totally new, then if it is difficult for you, it will be difficult for you to adjust as an employee too, right? So create connection socially too. Even that is being resourceful. And so use your cover letter, and that's where you can include those small little things. Cover letter is not there to summarize all the experience that you have already mentioned in your resume. So that's one part that I would like to address. But rest, I think Sajid can.
Oh, thanks.
Now,
Maybe,
yeah, Sajid, go ahead.
yeah. Now, just regarding Velmurugan's request to be added, so two things, right? You mentioned added to a group of infrastructure or to be referred. Now, Sudhir can add you to a infrastructure group where there are professionals. Getting referral is a totally different ball game, because let's say you ask me to refer you to some place, unless I know you personally, it's going to be a huge challenge for anybody to refer, right? So that is something that you have to build trust before you're asking referral. The second thing is, being part of the group is where it becomes easy to share your challenges and build that trust. So that is something that you can definitely ask Sudhir.
Yeah, just adding again, I'm not a professional immigration consultant, but I'm just giving you some hard truth. This is to all the immigration whoever is having that hard time getting the PR. So one thing is, students are not supposed to work actually. Even if you are a student visa, you can work 24 hours, 30 hours. You are here to study. That is clearly said by the Canadian government. Students here are not supposed to work. They are here to study. That 20 hours is just to get their experience. Co-op is just to get the experience and all those things. If you are a student and try to apply for jobs, big jobs and all, 80K, 90K and all, they are expecting you to come to office 5 days a week. So if you're a student, you might not be able to do it. So however, how much ever falsify your resume and all, you try to apply for the job, finally it will be caught and it will not be good, right? So that is one thing. So we do not discuss anything related to the status of or the visa status and all. I can call an immigration agent in my podcast, that will actually be helpful. But I'm just giving some hard facts. If you are not authorized to work, you cannot apply for these jobs. However, how much ever you try, if you are not authorized, if you are in a visit visa trying to get a job offer letter, you are actually hurting everybody else's chances and your chances also. That is one of the reasons why these companies are putting very good restrictions right now. They are asking you to send a copy of a PR card, a copy of this work permit extension, all these things even before the interview. And that is actually hurting a lot of these job seekers who is trying to get into it. So work with your immigration agent to see whether you are eligible to work or not. That is very important thing. Recruiters are the wrong person to help you with your visa status. It is your immigration agent or some lawyers who can help you understand whether you are legally eligible to work or not. Because recruiters are just messengers. Recruiters just, clients say, okay, this I need someone who has 1 year of work permit. So recruiters are just messengers. Recruiters cannot override their client's requirement. Unfortunately, that's a fact. Okay, so let's move on to next person, Gurveer. In case anybody has any questions or wanted to discuss some confidential things, you can talk to me offline. You can ping me in LinkedIn, and we can chat there. So let's move on to Gurveer.
Hello everyone, and thank you for organizing this session. My most of the questions got clear when you answered for Velmugaram and Shikha. Like the only thing which I want to ask right now is like I have 4 years of experience back in India, and I have just completed my studies, and I am authorized to work in Canada anywhere. So I am applying many places and even reaching out to the recruiters, but most of the jobs are like 6+ years or 8+ years. So like what are the industry trends for the intermediate developers who are like having experience of 3 to 5 years? So can anybody tell like what are the industry standards going on right now for the intermediate developers?
Before Dhara or Sajit answer, just see the previous discussion. So Whale Morgan is trying to reduce his experience, and you are saying that there is no intermediate experience. I believe that
So
you guys
I,
are looking into the wrong jobs, maybe, because he's saying that he's overqualified. He has 10 years of experience. He's trying to reduce it. You are not. You are saying that all the jobs available are 8 to 10 years of experience. But I believe, from my perspective, whatever I have seen, I've seen all the jobs except for freshers. Right? Freshers have a hard time getting the job again. But I'll let Dara answer. But that's just an observation. Dara.
Yeah, thank you. So, Gurveer, I think that there is no issue in having 2 years experience, 3 years experience, or 5 year experience is not an issue. There are jobs which is suitable for all level of experiences. Now, I would just like to scrutify your experience a little bit. So, from what I'm seeing here, you say that your title says that you are a full stack software developer with Java, Spring Boot, and everything else. Now, when you say that you have 3 or 4 years of experience, and you also say that you are a full stack developer, so how recruiters would or hiring managers would like to see is that out of 4 years, let's say, how many years you have done front end and how much you have done back end. So they would like to see the percentage, right? So I'm seeing this issue with lots of candidates these days that they have less experience, but they call themselves full stack developer. I'm not personalizing it with you, but they are not full stack developer yet. So they have not yet properly done front end and back end. They are not experienced enough in both the aspects to call themselves as a full stack developer. So one person I spoke with, he was a purely web developer, and he was applying for jobs as a full stack developer, right? So I think there is the that is the missing part. So you really need to scrutify your resume as that whether you are a full stack front end developer or you are a back end developer, and if you have done both, how much percentage you have done both, and then you present yourself, and then you try and convince that you are a full stack developer. And if you find out that you are not there yet, then don't apply for full stack developer jobs, because usually full stack developers are um, 7 to 10 years or more than 5 to 6 years, because they need it takes time for you to get expert on both the parts and being able to perform on that. So that's what I have observed. So I think that might be your issue. So I would highly suggest that you scrutify that area and then apply for the jobs which is actually relevant to your profile.
Yeah, I would like to add just one more thing. So I had a candidate. I will not share the details. This person actually reached out to me. I did a kind of basic mock interview, very basic skill set. Okay, not even kind of anything. But the person, he is looking for a very big job, like solution architect job, without even basic have the he doesn't even have the basics of development. but he's looking for a solution architect. Solution architect, it's a big experienced role. And I try to tell him or communicate to him saying that, boss, this is a wrong job for you. You have to check for a junior developer role. But this person is not agreeing to it. This person is searching for the job, which will pay around 130 to 150K, and he just have 2 years of experience, right? So what happens here is, that person is not accepting the fact that he is a junior developer. He says that I'm a solution architect, I need 135 to 150K. It's we can explain to him, or we can tell him just once or twice, right? Not more than that. So these kinds of mismatches is happening, especially with a lot of people. I have been hearing that from a lot of mentors, where the people are actually applying for a wrong job, very experienced job, or they are not able to find out, just like Dara said, they are not applying for the correct job. Where Scrum Master is applying for Agile practice lead, might not work out, right? Scrum Master applying for Agile coach role might not work out. So we have to find out which role is the app for you, and the best way to do is have a mentor, work with the mentor, and that will actually help you out in getting your issues resolved.
Um, Thank you, Sudhir. Thank you, Dara, for
Thank you, Guru. Yeah.
clearing many things. Like it can be the turning point from here. Thank you so much.
No worries, Guru. Okay. So myself and Sajid manages a WhatsApp group where we try to share these jobs, whichever is coming our way. We also post that in Canada IT Club .ca, and we also share those things in LinkedIn using Get Hired in Canada page, in case you guys wanted to see the um, check the pages. So one thing, before we go to the next question, I just wanted to explain what is the difference between a consulting firm, vendor, and this training institutes. So this is very important, because this is a lot of people gets into this trap. Basically, there are different ways by which you can actually search for jobs here in Canada. So first one is by LinkedIn. You can LinkedIn is the most popular, I would say, social media platform for job search. When I did the survey, it's almost 45% of the people got the job through the LinkedIn. So if you're a job seeker, or if you're an IT professional, you should have a wonderful LinkedIn. There is no doubt about it. You might be coming from different parts of the world, but here in Canada, LinkedIn is one of the best. You need to have it to build your professional profile and professional network. So LinkedIn, there is a LinkedIn job section, or LinkedIn. The recruiters here in Canada, they actually post in LinkedIn when they get an opportunity. So try to follow these recruiters, consulting firms, and all for the job posting. So there are consulting firms or the staffing agencies. What they do is they get a requirement from the client, and they find the best candidate and they places them. They doesn't charge anything from the candidate initially, right? So client pays them, and clients pays these consulting firms for the finding these candidates. There are a lot of other agencies here, right? This is what the discussion was yesterday. There are a lot of other agencies here. They actually charge $3,000 to $5,000 from the candidate, promising that they will get you the job. And not only that, they will ask you for 30% of your first year salary. So a lot of people reach out to me saying that, please give me that agency name. But what I'm trying to say here is, that is actually it will not actually work out, or that is a kind of fake thing. So they get the $3,000, and then what happens is, if you get a job, maybe they help you, maybe they not help you, you somehow got a job, you are liable to pay 30% of your first year salary to them. They will get this in writing. They actually write this, you are signing this, and you are giving them in writing, saying that you will pay $3,000 in advance, and you are ready to pay 30% of your salary for the first year. So this is a generic trick. They have some trainers, they actually train you in the basic things and all, and they will just let you open, because there are numerous students who pays this $3,000 to these agencies, and then come back to me and Sajid saying that, okay, I need some help. I have seen a lot of candidates who went to two agencies, paid $2,000, $3,000 each to different agencies, and then coming back to me with the help for the help. So you have to be kind of beware of these kinds of agencies. You are expecting that it will work, might not work. So I was trying to mentor a girl. She was very in a very desperate situation, uh, and she tried to reach out to me one day. I couldn't pick up the call because of the Canada IT Club launch day. She could not speak to me. She went and paid around $3,200 to this agency, and signed a bond saying that she is ready to pay around 30% of the salary for the first 1 year. So I just wanted to clarify between these two things. One is the staffing firm, the like Procom, Randstad, and all. They actually places the candidate. They are the genuine uh, placement agencies where they get a client requirement, they place you, they take clients pays them. But there are other agencies where you as a candidate might be asked to pay. So just beware about these two things and do not get into trap. If you know what you are getting into, nobody can stop you. But if you don't know, just be aware about these two things before you even get into them. Thank you. So let's move on to Vinny.
Hey, hi everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. So my main question is that I have an experience of 6 years with banking and insurance industry back in India, where I have been in a leadership role as well during my tenure till July 2023. I wanted to get into business analyst industry. For which I have also completed my certified Scrum Master certification from the Scrum Alliance, but it didn't give me any practical exposure, or I couldn't get much of a learning from the certification. So wanted to understand regarding the transition into these kind of profiles, or any project certification is required, or how I can tweak in the resume for the HRs and everything. And since you mentioned regarding the mentoring as well, so wanted to understand more regarding the same as well.
Yeah, before we come to Sajid, I know Sajid has an answer for this. Dara, you want to take a stab at it?
Sure. So, Vinny, I think the, the the logic remained the same. I think that we already shared that earlier in this call. I'm not sure if you were there. The logic remained the same, right? You will not get the job right away without Canadian exposure. And how would you get that? Again, you go for some short term training, you do some freelancing. Now, in your case, I'm not sure freelancing would not apply, but then you can do some volunteering work. And volunteering in the sense that you apply to not for profits and see where you can help them with by playing a professional role. I'm sure you want to do business development, business analyst role. um, I don't know, offer some help as to how you can help them analyzing their situation and help them improve their business, because ultimately not for profit is also a business. They rely on grants, they have to produce numbers. So help them. So that's what you can do. Certifications, again, it helps. Of course, you get Scrum Master certificate, but as you said, it won't give you practical knowledge and understanding. So and so it's really logic is the same. That's what I would like to say, that network, connect. And again, I think the basic part is lacking here is research. So if I were you, or when I were you, all I was doing was going through all the LinkedIn profiles. So for example, if you want to become a business analyst, connect with 500 business analysts in Toronto if you are in here, and go through their profiles, see what they have done, see what their path and journey has been, which was the company who gave them the first role as a business analyst. Make a list of all those companies, reach out to people who are working in that company in that role, and connect with them, ask them questions, attend events, and see their career path. I think that will give you lots of insights. Then thinking that what should I do, because you learn from others' paths a lot. So that's just I wanted to add.
Okay.
Thank you, Dara. Sajid, you want to add something?
Sudhir knows my answers. That's why he said Sajjit has an answer. Certification will not get you a job. Certification only can help build your careers, right? That is what it is. Dara explained it very beautifully. The biggest success story that I have after landing in Canada is I still remember the person. My first role that I closed, Nandita, she was working in US for many years. She had twins, and she came to Canada, and she, like you, she was searching, and then she contacted me. I was looking for a role. I was looking for a role to fill for my client. It was a non-for-profit organization. So when I spoke to her during my conversation, I knew that she was a perfect fit for this role. But looking at the resume, I knew that if I shared that resume with this non-for-profit organization, her profile might not get shortlisted. And also, she was working in corporate in US, and she was thinking that, is this the right role for her? Now, how do I bridge that gap? As I told her that you need to. I asked her whether she has done any volunteer work in US, and she mentioned that she has done some kind of volunteer work. I highlighted her volunteer work, and that point in time, as an agency, I used to create a skills for every resume that I was sending. I used to create a skills matrix also. So in the skills matrix, 5 questions that was asked was highlighting her transferable skills. Using that, I submitted to the non-for-profit organization. She's still there in the organization. She has a very the reason that I mentioned she has twins is non-for-profit organizations are certain places which are not looked into as a great career break, right? That is, she's still there because of the role one, and the growth that she has had, because they were doing a lot of transformational projects. They were using a lot of Azure cloud. They had amazing projects, and she was happy at the growth that she had. The second thing is, because she has twins, the non-for-profit organizations were willing to give her that work-life balance, right? So it's now she's still there for close to 6.5 years, and she's happy with the role. So look at alternatives where people who are just starting their career in Canada, you can get a good breakthrough and a great career growth in non-for-profit organizations also. Ontario itself has close to 3,500 to 4,000 non-for-profit organizations. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much for the insights. I'll
Yeah.
surely work on it.
Yeah, so just adding my 2 cents also here, because you asked Scrum, right? See,
Mm-hmm.
basically, we have to understand the fact that that CSM certification, right? That's actually kind of it's a fake sell, I would say. CSM does not guarantee that you are a Scrum Master. It's just a stepping stone to the Agile world or the Scrum world. See, a lot of people who take the CSM certification think that they are the Scrum Master. Even I did that back in 2016 or 15, I believe, when I took the CSM certification. But actually, after that, I realized that, okay, I don't know anything about Scrum. Then I literally had to get trained. And yes, that is where my mentors came in to the picture, and they helped me understand what I don't know, and what I actually know, and how to upgrade my skill set, right? So just like Sajid said, my starting days in Canada, even I had a mentor. That is when the things got changed. Until that, I was also searching the job for 4 months, 0 calls. The moment mentor kicked in, 1 month we worked together, and that is when I started getting calls and I cleared the interviews. So because I was able to understand what is the mistake I was doing, continuously doing. I thought that I had a CSM certification from 2015, and I was applying in 2018, 3 years of agile experience, but unfortunately that was not enough to get the job, right? So that get out of that misconception that CSM is will help you get a Scrum Master job if you just cleared the CSM certification this year or last year, because
Mm-hmm.
agile is a totally different, or where you need coaching experience, mentoring experience, and you need to know a lot of the things other than that 2 days training sessions. Okay, so if you are interested, I can connect you with my mentor. You can work with him, and he can actually help you
I'll
get the
I'll
job.
surely love to connect
Sure,
once.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, please PM me. Okay,
Okay, I'll do
thank
that.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Yeah.
Yeah, let's move on to Shrutika.
Hello everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. Actually, all of my answers questions are already answered. I had the same
Well,
question
I
that
have a question for you, Shrutika. Shrutika, I have a question for you.
Okay,
Why Canadian PR B H1B holder highlighted more than your core skill set?
because I have been taking some career coach advices and I've got that feedback that I need to mention that I'm having the Canadian PR. I should highlight that in my profile. So that's the reason I've added that recently.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I had worked back in India for 5 years in a testing domain for the manual and the automation testing for softwares. And then I worked in the USA as well. And then I moved here on PR. But it's been few months that I'm looking for a job and I'm not getting any opportunity. And mainly I'm getting the reason that not having Canadian experience is playing a crucial part in my application. So I got the answer that I need to do some volunteer work here and work for some non-profit organization. So I'll definitely work on that. If you have any other suggestions for me, please go ahead.
I like to jump in here. So, um, this is a very common thing. I think it's not just for Shrutika, for all of us. One thing I personally realized um, when one day one of my colleagues tell me that Dara, you are resourceful, and I said, why do you say that? She said that you know so many people, and from different industry and for different reason. Um, and that day I actually realized that that has been kind of my superpower. I'm very natural, I'm very talkative. I like to talk to people, I like to connect with them. Even when I was new to the country and I didn't know anybody, I would love to chat with somebody standing on the bus stop or going to the grocery store or even in the laundry room. And when I talk about all this tips, people may like to laugh at it that we are talking about big issues like finding a job in Canada. We need a Canadian work experience, and there you are asking me to talk to people around you. But what I'm trying to say is that this is how you start. If you don't have connections, if you don't have exposure, um, then start from the grassroots, start from creating those connections around you. And I want to replace all of you to two words from your dictionary. Don't say that you need professional referral. Say that you need to be resourceful. So start being resourceful. Start connecting with people from different aspects or different walks of life. That will really help you in your professional life. And secondly, not Canadian experience, but you need Canadian exposure. So, whenever you think about Canadian experience, replace that word in your mind to Canadian exposure and then start thinking on that direction. That will give you Canadian experience, but not by keep on thinking, oh, I don't have Canadian experience, because that's not needed. Exposure is needed, Canadian mindset is needed, being resourceful is needed, and you don't need anybody's referral to do that. Do you need a referral from a professional person if you are standing in a bus stop and you have to talk to somebody standing beside you? I don't think so, right? So start helping yourself, and you will see start things taking place. You don't need some professional to come and hold your hand. So that's what I want to share.
Tara, one question for you though.
Yes.
I know being a recruiter, you don't have time on your plate, right? Time is the biggest constraint for recruiters because you have deadlines. People don't realize that people have deadlines. They multitask a lot and all those things. Apart from that, you're a college professor and you're a career coach. Why are you giving back to the community where you could have spent a lot of your me time, right, with your family and for yourself? Why are you giving back to the community?
Yeah. Okay. Actually, I'm helping myself. So when I came here, I didn't know anybody and there was nobody to help me. I know the struggle, I know the frustration, and I'm so grateful to those few who helped me, who listened to me, who understand me, and who believed in me. So now when I'm doing recruiting, and I'm, as you mentioned, I'm well to do. I don't need to took a giving back thing, but I really feel bad when I see candidates struggling and having same questions. I want to be the person that I wish I would have at that time. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just helping myself.
That is exactly one of the reasons I think, believe me and Sajid had started this. The same kind of answer, same kind of motivation, which is nobody is giving them the motivation. There is no one to speak to. Those are the frustration actually builds up when you're trying to do the job search and actually not getting success. But being said, I wanted to tell one thing very clearly, that even though with the mentor, even though with any coach, how much ever you pay, it finally depends upon the candidate's effort they are putting. The reason I'm saying this, I would strongly say 50 percentage. Whoever has reached, I have spoken to more than 3,000 to 4,000 people in the past 3 4 years. I'm telling you, 50 percentage of the candidates doesn't put effort. The effort they are putting is only for job search. However you try to tell them that they need to fix their communication skill or technical skills or upgrade the skills, they don't listen. I clearly say 50 percentage because I had a kind of database whom I mentored, and when I try to look at it, 50 percentage of the candidates never listen to it. Maybe it is because I'm giving it for free, I don't know. But when you try to tell them that boss, you have to fix your basic, they doesn't like it. They actually go to the next person. And this has been happening. Even last week this has happened. One person reached out to me asking for a mentor, so I connected with the right mentor, because I cannot mentor this person. I can try to connect it with the right mentor, and this person, this candidate is saying, oh no, I already connected with him, he asked me to study those things, and I have to study it, right? So the mentor actually gave the correct advice to upgrade the skill, but this person, instead of doing that, searching for other mentor who can help it get a job. Fortunately that might not work out here, because of the competitions. The market is very, I mean, flooded with a lot of these candidates, and everyone is looking for kind of people with good professionalism and skill. So please upgrade your skills. Listen to the mentor. There are people who will take money from you and will give you um, easy advices, but that might not work out. But when we try to tell you that, okay, you have to fix your resume or you have to upgrade your skill, that is for your own benefit. You upgrading the skill is not going to help myself, Sajit or Dara, but when we are trying to help you, you have to actually do that. That will actually help you in long term. Try to focus to get a job in 2 to 3 months, not for 1 year. You will get a job after 1 year maybe, but your all focus should be to get a job in 2 to 3 months. That is my humble request to everyone, because I've been seeing the worst of the worst situations in the past 3 4 years. Okay, so let's move on to next person, Sharanya, right?
Yes, Sudhir. Thank you for this opportunity. Hello, everyone. So, I live in Vancouver and I have about 8 years of experience as a QA in test automation. And I'm looking for a job for the past around 7 to 8 months. And I have been tailoring my resume as well as for every job description and for also for the every job I apply. So I just wanted to understand that applying to a job that has been posted just few with I mean applying to a job within few minutes of the job being posted, would that help me in getting into a screening call at least to reach the recruiter?
I'll let Dara and Sajit answer that. Dara, do you want to take it?
Um, yeah, but
The,
you have to repeat, Saranya, you have to repeat the last part. I understand you are
basically, first
looking for.
few minutes,
Yeah.
applying in the first few minutes, will it help or not?
Ah, yeah, it does help if you are a qualified candidate. Um, but again, you never know what part of recruiting cycle you are into, right? there are lots of situations, even if sometimes you repost the job, but you might have to repost for some technical uh, housekeeping reasons. You might already have a candidate. So definitely applying in the initial phase of the job posting, it helps. But again, you cannot say that you got disqualified just because you are not good candidate, or just because they are partial. uh, there could be many other reasons behind the scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
I.
So maybe I'll add a couple of points. Okay.
Mhm.
Do not look into the numbers which LinkedIn is showing. Okay. So it's not a bug. It's actually how LinkedIn is designed. So the moment you click on apply button, the counter will actually increase. And if you try to do it 3-4 times after refresh, actually it will increase actually. Okay. So do not look into the numbers. The stats show that more than 60% of the candidates who apply for the job doesn't match the requirement. Okay, so either they are outside of Canada, either they are not authorized to work, or they don't have the sufficient skill set. 60 to 70% are like this. I had invited Kartika. She's a recruiter with Bay Street Staffing. She had come here. She had an opportunity where she had an opening where 110 people, somewhere 100 to 110 people applied. She reviewed their resume. 110 was a mismatch. Okay, it's not about the first 50 or first 100. She actually reviewed all the 110 and found out that these are not a match. Most of them, 70 was from India, and the remaining from few other places in the world, and the others who applied doesn't have the required skill set. So there are a lot of candidates who apply for all the jobs, unfortunately. So do not look into the numbers. That's the first thing. Now second thing is, there are chances that the candidate will be pre-identified, right? And these jobs needs to be posted. That's what Dara just said. The candidate will be pre-identified, but these jobs has to be posted because of the because that is how the system works. So at that time, even if you apply as the first candidate, it might not work out because the candidate is already been identified. That job poster only is open for candidate, and when the candidate pre-identified candidate applies, they select that, okay, this is a candidate. That's it, right? So these are the two things which I have learned from my experience. Just FYI. You have a follow-up question, Charanya?
Oh, yeah. One more question. This is regarding the LinkedIn job alerts. So, I've created and tailored multiple job alerts specific to a company or specific to a job designation, I mean, the job role. But by the time I receive the alert in my LinkedIn notification, there would be at least hundreds of applicants that has already applied. Maybe, say, within 30 minutes, I get the notification in my system. So, I just wanted to know how I can be, around 8 hours I spend every day for LinkedIn job applying or enhancing my skill as well. But I just wanted to know how quickly I can identify a job is being posted.
Yeah, I'll take that. I think Sudhir already mentioned that don't look at those numbers. So whosoever visit the page, they will be registered as the applicant. So they are not the actual applicant. So the first part of your
Mm-hmm.
question, then in 30 minutes you say 100 applications. There are not 100. There are no 100 applications. There might be 5 people who actually went on their website and actually put in all the data and actually applied. And even out of 5 or 10 or whatever, none of them was actually qualified. So don't worry about those numbers. If you think that you are qualified for the role, go ahead and apply, no matter how many numbers you see there. If you qualify, and if you think that you are suitable candidate, um, I'm sure they will review it and they will see that. Number two, when you're saying that you are applying on LinkedIn, I would suggest that um, don't just apply on LinkedIn jobs only, because again, any company who can post a job on LinkedIn, that means they have lots of resources. Because posting a job on LinkedIn is not cheap; it's very expensive. So not every company can afford that. So only those companies who can afford to post a job on LinkedIn, they are basically very resourceful. They have lots of candidates, they have lots of applicants, they might have posting their jobs at other avenues. So they have lots of options too. So try and understand if you are transitioning career, if you are new, if you don't have any exposure, and you are only competing with those who have uh, tons of applicants already there, then you are applying, you are heading towards a failure, right? I'm not saying don't apply, but I would say expand your search. Look at other avenues too. Maybe go to Indeed. And there are many other ways you can find a job. I don't want to get into that, but don't just stick to one avenue. That's what I'm trying to say. And third, when you are saying that, you want to be the first applicant or you want to be in the first stage of that hiring process, unfortunately, nobody would know what that first phase would be, because even as a recruiter, I don't know what the first phrase would be, because till yesterday I had one job and I knew all the requirements. Today all the requirements have changed or modified, so now I have to start my search from the scratch just because requirements have changed, right? So the person who was in my first lot yesterday is not in my first lot today. So it's a very dynamic field and you never know when you could be the first lot person. So all you can do is just keep on trying, um, and create connections as much as possible, and try to find variety of ways of applying for job, rather than sticking to any one tool and thinking that you don't know the magical formula.
Oh, sure.
Dara
Thank you
actually gave the
so
magical
much.
formula. Unfortunately, I don't know how many of them realize this. Dara gave a scenario where she said that she already had a candidate and she had to post the job because of various reasons, right? In the sense, one candidate was already identified, still she had to post. Nobody asked how to be that candidate where you have already identified, because that is, it could be referral, it could be a different system that the candidate was, it could be internally promoting a candidate too, right? It could be various reasons. Now let's say the candidate that Dara mentioned was approach the hiring manager. Now I'll give you a simple example. So there is a agile scrum master, he works, let's say he's working for a bank or a government company, or whichever company that he's working in. If not today, you know that Sudhir will be hiring for a candidate in the next 2 months, right? If you have highlighted or spoken to Sudhir, and you have, Sudhir knows who Sharanya is and Sudhir understands what your skill set is. Now, 2 months down the line, when Sudhir is looking for a QA, is Sudhir going to look at 1,000 resumes and screen, or is Sudhir going to remember the conversation that he has with Charanya and say to his recruiter saying that, hey, there is this lady who is experienced, looks like a great fit. Can you process her CV? How do you think a hiring manager would work if you're in the top of the mind of the hiring manager that you're the suitable candidate for the role, right? So this is how conversations happen. This is what networking actually is. Networking is not the number of connections on LinkedIn. Please take that idea from your mind that if I have 500 connections or 10,000 connections, I am a good networker. No. Now, I am a high profile networker. It's not because of the number of people I have in my connections. I have painstakingly added most of my connections for the last, I think, for 13-14 years in LinkedIn, right? It has I have built, I am not claiming that I know everybody's role right now and the thing, but I have built, and it is metrics, right? What you record and what you can measure is only things that you can improve. This has been a constant journey of networking. So take networking as an additional skill set, right? When you say you're good in time management, you're good in these kind of skill set, networking, negotiation, interviewing are all additional skill set that you need. My question to you, Sharon, is this: you mentioned 8 months. How many interviews did you have? That is the biggest challenge that you need to identify. If you had interviews and you're not cleared interviews, then you need to concentrate on your interviewing skills rather than only getting those jobs. If you had at least 4 interviews and you have not converted that interviews to offers, my question is, did you check with did you do mock interviews, or did you check with a coach or a colleague as to what are the gaps in your interviewing style. Those are the things that I would be concentrating in.
Sure, Sajid. I have good takeaways from this meeting actually. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Sharanya. Let's move on to Samina. There is a lot of S. Sudhir, Sajid, Shrutika, Samina, Sharanya, Saloni. Hey, Samina, you have to unmute. Okay, let's move on to Saloni then.
Hi, Sudhir, and
Hey.
thank you for the opportunity. So, my question is this is a personal experience. Lately, I have been receiving messages from recruiters that they have an opportunity, then they ask for my resume, what's my PR status, and everything. And after that, one or two recruiters are asking for my driving license and and my PR card copy. So, once I tried to look deeper and found out that it was a scam, but there was one recruiter that was, I found him to be legit, but since I found one scammer before, so I did not share my details uh, of my personal identity cards. So I wanted to ask Dhara as a recruiter, so is it happening nowadays that even before sharing the profile to the client, we have to share these personal identity things to the recruiters whom we don't know at all?
Yeah,
Tara, you
for
want me
sure.
to take it? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead because you Sudhir already has a great answer. We discussed that last time, so he'll.
Yeah. So basically, what is happening is there is a lot of job opportunity where people from across the world has been applying. So because the immigration agents tell them that okay, just apply. If you get a job, that will help you in getting the immigration. And that's actually false. Okay, that is not the way it should work. So what is happening is there is a lot of people from outside of Canada trying to apply for jobs here by listening to these immigration agents. So what is happening is a lot of these consulting firms are trying to filter those candidates out at the initial round itself. There have been numerous instances where the candidate cleared the interview and then they'll say that I need the offer letter, I am outside of Canada, I need to come there. So the recruiters have been having hard time dealing these kinds of candidates, and yes, because of which there have been a lot of recruiting agencies, especially if you are applying for TCS, they will definitely ask if TCS has these vendor agencies, right? They will definitely ask for your PR card or a proof that you are currently in Canada. This is actually happening. You can hide all the details you want. They just need your name in that PR card. That's all they look for. I Even when I applied, I had to submit these PR card copies. That is actually very common. But at the same time, you have to be a bit careful also. What they will ask is they will ask you for the postal code, your last name, your date of birth, and not date of birth, year and month of the birth. So you have to be a bit careful. Do not give the correct details there because those three combinations are actually can be used to reset your passwords or anything in few of these places. So I usually give maybe Jan 1st or Feb 2nd, something like that, and that is for them to create a unique ID. But do not fall into the scams. You have to check whether the agency is genuine or not. There have been a lot of agencies which are genuine, like Randstad, Procom, Bay Street Staffing, Beachhead, all these things, right? But at the same time, there are few agencies which is trying to get into this scam mode. If it is too good to be true, it is fake. In Canada, you have to understand that if it is too good to be true, it is definitely fake. They will try to do everything to convince you that that is not fake. But if it is too good to be true, if you are a 5-year experience and you are being offered 140K salary, that might be a scam. So you have to be very careful with it. I know a lot of people who went into the scam. Even I advise them, do not do it. They actually paid thousands of dollars to these agencies and then they got into this trouble. But yes, nowadays the consulting firms are doing it to prevent these candidates from outside of Canada applying through it. And second thing is a lot of people without the work permit, So they actually, a lot of people are in Canada, they have the driver's license, but they are in travel TRV, travel visa. So to avoid that, they will ask you to submit the PR card copy or the work permit copy to see how much is the duration, because they don't want to waste the time on these candidates who is not here in Canada or who is not authorized to work. Just ensure that that agency is good, and then go ahead and share it. You can hide all those details, and you don't have to show it. Did I answer that, Saloni?
Yes, yes, sure. Because nowadays, everyone who is contacting me, I see him as a scammer because it happened earlier. So now I got some inputs and insights that what all details I should be sharing and what I shouldn't be. So yeah, I'll be careful, and thank you. Thanks,
Yeah,
Sudhir.
no worries. So when you are trying to reach out to someone for advice, or when you are trying to reach out to someone, just check their social profile whether they are in good standing or not. There are a lot of websites which has been which just launched last day, and they will ask you to pay money and all those things. Those are literally scam, and unfortunately, they are using the desperation of the job seekers to get into these bonds and pay them money so that you get the job and all. See, if you pay $5,000 and you get a job, definitely we can pay, right? But that is a scam. So you have to understand that it's not because we are trying to avoid or trying, we are jealous and we are not allowing you to pay. It's for your own good. And if you know what you are getting into, please go ahead and pay the money. But other than that, you have to understand what these things, what these agencies do. So talk to people. There are a lot of experienced people, and you can attend these kinds of sessions. I think we have had like 17 or 18 sessions this year. These sessions are actually helpful, where we are inviting actual genuine recruiters, the tax consultants and all. They will actually help you understand all these things. Okay. So
One, let me
yeah, Sajid.
based on what you mentioned, most professional, no, not most, the more, at least all the professional recruiters that I know, that are just tell me if you have a difference of opinion. Never approach candidates through Telegram and WhatsApp. Even if we know you through WhatsApp, we will any communication is only through professional ID. No recruiter worth his salt will share any information regarding the job or the company through a personal ID, because that is how it is.
Correct.
If you
Correct.
are getting any information, any contact for any job, not through a professional ID, confirmed it is fake.
Yep. So nobody will text you, nobody will WhatsApp you, nobody will Telegram, right? These three things. Just be careful. You get a lot of scam here. So every time I get a scam, I just block that number, and now it has crossed around 48 something. So there are a lot of scams happening here in Canada. You have to be very careful. Most of them will actually try to send you the via the official email address. Even if they are calling you, ask them to send it via official email address. If you have any question, you can ask in our group whether that is a genuine consulting firm or not. We'll look it up and we'll try to answer that. So I see a lot of people have raised the hand. Unfortunately, we are at time. We are already like 1.5 hours. So in case you guys have any questions, you can actually reach out to us in our WhatsApp group. So for those who don't know, we manage a couple of WhatsApp, not couple, like 4 or 6 WhatsApp groups are there, where we try to share these jobs, these tips and everything. So in case you want to get into the WhatsApp group, you can either personal message myself or Sajid. We will be happy to add you. In case you have any questions to me, Dhara or Sajid, feel free to ping us offline. When we get a chance, we will try to respond. And again, this was very meaningful session today. So last week also, I mean last to last week also, Dara gave us a lot of insight. Today we had Sajid also, and this was also very meaningful session. I would really appreciate, or really I'm really thankful to Sajid and Dara for spending 1.5 hours in this podcast. Dara, any closing comments?
No, I'm just grateful that you all spend time and you get together here. So Thank you.
Yeah,
That's it.
thank you, Dara. Thank you. We try to share as much information as we know, right? But anyways, it was a great session. This has been recorded. We have it in our YouTube in case you want to watch it. Uh, the YouTube channel link, I'll post it. So thanks everyone. And for those who have further follow-up questions or anything, feel free to ping me in personally or use our WhatsApp group so that everybody will be able to understand what is happening. Okay, thanks everyone, and see you next week. Next week, it is mostly going to be introduction to the cloud, how you can learn cloud technologies, and how you can get into the cloud world. That is what I am planning. So hope to see you everyone next week. Thank you. Thanks everyone. Good night. Thank you, Dara.